Welcome to the chaos sector. We re-enter the political matrix. While the average American citizen is counting their pennies, dealing with high costs for groceries, high gas prices, cost of mortgages increasing, rent increasing, threats of losing employment, uncertainty of their financial futures, Congress is behind closed doors, literally behaving like hooligans. Remember, these Congress members represent the American citizens. These clowns are elected officials who are supposed to be, I repeat, supposed to be voting on laws that benefit the citizens they are sworn to fight for, or a better term, sworn to service. I want you to just listen to this insanity. Just to give this a bit of context, Marjorie Taylor Greene and AOC have the typical cat fight. There are others involved, such as Congressmember Jasmine Crockett and the detestable Congressmember Jamie Raskin. That guy is always at the center of the circus. But there were remarks made, which were offensive, on both sides of the aisle. This is the mudslinging we talk about. In politics, the mudslinging is used to damage your opponent's reputation and credibility. Mudslinging is basically two sides competing to see who has the best insult. Again, this is what Congress members spend most of their time doing while you're struggling to survive. They make an average of about $100,000 to $300,000 in annual salary, literally sitting in chairs the entire work shift arguing with one another. But keep in mind, it's all an act. Sure, some may not actually like each other deep down, yet the conflict that the American people observes is to push more division amongst society when it comes to politics. Congress members on the left of the aisle work to persuade citizens who vote Democrat. Congress members on the right of the aisle work to persuade citizens who vote Republican. In their mudslinging, insults thrown around left and right spreads out into society. And of course, opposing sides carry out that same mudslinging behavior. We see it in debates, we see it on college campuses, we see it even in the workplace. So if you ever wondered where the nasty behavior comes from with your neighbor who supports opposing political party, it comes from this.
I'd like to know if any of the Democrats on this committee are employing Judge Merchan's daughter.
Please tell me what that has to do with Merrick Garland.
Is she a porn star?
Oh, Goldman, that's right. He's advising.
Do you know what we're here for? You know we're here about AG
I don't
Garland.
think you know what you're here for.
Well, you the one talking about. I guess
I
you
think
still
your
stuck in
fake
the front row.
eyelashes are messing up
No,
what you're
ain't
reading.
nothing.
Hold on.
Listen.
Order.
Mr. Chairman, that's beneath even
order,
regain order of your committee.
Order.
That is absolutely unacceptable. How dare you attack
Meeting will
the
suspend.
physical
Meeting will
appearance of another
suspend.
person?
Are your
Move
feelings hurt?
her words down.
Aw.
Oh, girl, baby girl.
Oh, really?
Don't even play.
Baby girl? I don't think
We are
so.
going to move, and we're going to take your words down.
I
Thank you very
second
much.
that motion.
Ms. Green agrees to strike her words.
I believe she
Chair
needs to
recognizes
apologize. No.
Mr. Perry.
She needs to
Okay,
apologize.
hold on. Then after Mr. Perry's going to be recognized, then Ms. Green
I'm not
has 4 minutes and
apologizing.
21
Well,
seconds.
then
Okay,
you're
reserve
not
the right to
striking your
object.
words.
I am
Mr.
not
Perry.
apologizing.
Now let's go. Come on, guys.
Why don't you debate me?
Mr. Chairman, the
it's
minority.
pretty
No,
self-evident.
You're not.
Yeah, you're
out
not-
of order.
you don't have enough
You're out of order.
intelligence.
Chair recognizes Mr. Perry.
Okay, move to strike
I'd
the.
like to
I
strike
move to
those
strike the
words
lady's
as well.
words.
I would like to strike
the
those
lady's
as well.
words again.
That's 2 requests to strike. That's 2 requests to strike.
Oh, they cannot take the
There's
words.
another motion to strike her words again. Please
All right,
get
okay,
your members under
here's the
control.
correct apology. Ms. Green, do you agree to unanimous consent to strike your words?
I repeat again for the second time. Yes, I'll
All
strike
right.
my words,
That-
but I'm not
all right.
apologizing.
Without objection. Without
Not
objection.
apologizing.
Chair
Reserving the right to
recognize-
object.
No,
Chairman, I
Chair
reserve the right to
recognizes
object.
Mr.
I
Perry.
reserve the right to
Mr.
object.
Chairman, I move that Mr. Goldman's words and Ms. Ocasio-Cortez's words be stricken.
Okay.
Which words? And you have to do it contemporaneously. Object. The objection must be contemporaneous, and they haven't spoken in 10 minutes.
Nobody's spoken in 10 minutes.
Well, that's right. Therefore, defeating your proposal.
You all have. So that's my motion, Mr. Chairman.
We weren't able to.
But I object. It doesn't refer to anything that's on the floor. Ms. Ocasio-Cortez objected immediately and instantaneously, as you're supposed to do under the rules and
We went into
precedents
recess
of the
after
House of
that, so
Representatives.
the first time he couldn't
Mr.
move to
Chairman,
strike.
point of,
Let's suspend.
point of parliamentary inquiry.
I would ask Ms. Green if she would just make the apology. It's not that complicated. We don't want to get into face-to-face insults.
You will never get an apology out of me. I don't
Then
owe you
I
one.
object. Then I
All right.
object, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Askins objects.
Release the audio.
It will just take us a few minutes to get those
Okay.
words.
We'll suspend.
Aren't we here for audio?
Chairman.
I'd like Joe Biden's audio.
The motion by Mr. Perry, seconded by
I don't believe
Mr.
you can
Gosar.
table motion. I
All
don't believe
those
you
in
can table.
favor?
It's not eligible to
this is-
table.
this is-
It's not eligible
Not
to
eligible
table.
to table.
We can table the appeal. We can table the appeal.
I don't know if we can table. Is
The
it
underlying
privilege to
motion.
strike?
We can table the appeal.
The-
There's a motion and second to table the appeal.
Okay, just to be clear, your ruling was that she had not engaged in personalities?
Mr.
Is that
Chairman,
your
when
ruling?
do I have my
I
4
said-
minutes and 21 seconds?
I've already ruled. I've already ruled.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
All right, so
No, there's a motion to vote on. It's not debatable. Motion by Mr. Perry, seconded by Mr. Gosar to table. All those in favor of tabling signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no.
No!
Motion passes to table. Now,
Move for the
Chair
ayes and the nays.
recognizes-
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling. If someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
Chairman, I make a motion to strike those
I
words.
don't think that's a
Hold on.
I'm
parliament.
trying to find clarification on what
Chairman,
qualifies.
motion to
I
strike
had no
those
idea what
words.
you just said.
We're not gonna do this. Look, you guys earlier literally just.
You just voted to do it.
Y'all did it first, so you
You
don't
just
wanna talk
voted to do it.
Order.
I'm trying to get
Okay.
clarification.
Look at, calm down, calm
No,
down.
because this
I
is
will
what
let
y'all
you get
do.
through proceedings.
So I'm trying
Hey,
to get
Miss
clarification.
Crockett, you're not
You don't wanna
recognized.
play
Miss
games.
I can't hear
Crockett.
you with your
And you
yelling.
don't want me
Calm
to be-
down.
No,
Can you please calm
don't
down?
tell me to calm down.
Calm down.
Because y'all
Please
talk
calm
noise,
down.
and then you
You're
can't
out of
take
control.
Because if I
Look,
come,
Chairman,
if I
can we
come and
send
talk
outside to
shit
take a
about
break
her,
for 5
y'all
minutes?
gonna have a problem.
Chairman, Mr. Chairman.
Chair,
I don't know why
okay.
you're
Order.
acting
Chair
like
now
that.
recognizes
Not cute.
Ms. Green for 4 minutes and 21 seconds. 4 minutes. Let Ms. Green talk, and then you all can, I'll recognize.
But I
someone on
move
this
to
side.
strike her words for a second time based on her second set of personal remarks attacking another member.
Chairman Comer.
Because you all cannot
I have an
seem
amendment at
to
the desk,
apply
and this
the
sideshow
rules of the
needs to
committee.
stop.
We have to do this every time.
Hey,
Look,
I'm
look,
recognized.
look.
I'm recognized.
Order,
I'm going to
listen,
go ahead and start talking.
Look, I know. Look, I don't know if you've noticed it. I have 2 hearing aids. I'm very deaf. I'm not understanding. Everybody's yelling. I'm doing the best I can. Can we not recognize Ms. Green and let
We
her get?
cannot because of the rules of the committee, Mr. Chair. That is what I'm trying to communicate in the present moment.
We have a okay, what's the motion? What's
The motion is to strike the gentlelady's words for the second set of remarks, not the first, the second,
She
that
has
applied
no
to me.
idea. She has no idea. I think, Mr. Chairman, I'm the
know
only
what the
one
words
recognized
were?
right now.
But we objected at the time.
Will the member state the word she wishes
Yes.
struck?
She told me, or she asserted that I was not intelligent. These are the specific words. They're like, we can have it read by the clerk,
It
was made immediately.
and it was made immediately. I am not moving
I
now.
don't think it was
I am not
timely.
moving
It was
now.
made immediately,
It
both
was
by the
made
gentlelady and by me.
immediately. Mr.
Guys,
Chair,
look.
it was made immediately.
It was made
and you
immediately,
said
both by
that
the
you would
gentlelady and by
return
me.
to us.
Guys,
She said, "You don't have the intelligence to talk to me," is what she said.
the chair recognizes Ms. Green for 4 minutes and 21 seconds.
Mr. Chair, what is
I
happening with
object
the
to.
ruling?
I object to the ruling. Now.
We must object.
I mean, if you want to take it up,
The chair rules to strike the words that Ms. Green said, where she said that Ms. Ocasio-Cortez was not.
said she
you
lacked
said?
the intelligence to
Okay.
speak to her when, in
Okay.
fact,
I
Ms.
didn't want to say it,
Ocasio-Cortez is
'cause I
a
didn't
brilliant
want you all
member
to
of
get
Congress. So, yeah.
anything on me.
No, we should be on the record with what was
Okay,
happening.
we struck the words that she said, "You're not intelligent." Are we good on that?
No.
The words
we
have
need-
been struck.
No, it was,
No, no, no.
it was to
Whoa.
take the words
Now,
down.
Chair.
Yeah, we're
Mr.
good.
Chairman,
Goldman, you're out of order. Listen,
Mr. Chairman, her motion was to take her words down, not to strike the words.
it was to strike the words. That's what Ms. Ocasio-Cortez asked.
Well,
Okay, now.
which is to take them
That
down.
is to- there's no such
Which is
thing.
to take them down.
Which is to take them down.
Just to take them down.
it's-
They've been taken down.
All right,
They've been
then that
taken
means
down.
that Ms.
All right.
Green has to leave
Now,
the committee.
Ms.
She
Goldman,
cannot
Mr.
speak
Goldman,
any-
you're out of order. Now, I want everyone let's comply with the quorum. The chair recognizes
Mr. Chairman.
Ms. Green for, no,
Wait,
no,
her words
no,
were taken
no.
down.
No, her
Yes,
words were
we-
taken down. That means she cannot speak.
The chair
If
recognizes.
her words are stricken, she cannot speak in this hearing. Talk to your parliamentarian. She has to get out.
Without a motion under unanimous consent, the gentlelady is not permitted to speak for the
Chairman.
rest of this session. And we're happy to revive our motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman. I think these 17-hour days might not work for us.
Something about working, huh?
Yeah, maybe showing up for a vote.
You have a lot to say, being that you're on retainer for the judge's daughter. Sorry, trust fund kid.
Mr. Chairman.
We should strike those words too.
I hope you brought your popcorn.
Mr. Chair,
Chairman.
Strike
we have to
those
strike
after
those as
we
well.
strike
And
the
Mr.
fact that they
Chairman-
called they were making comments about Marjorie's body. So we can
Mr.
do this all
Chairman.
night long, but I have a motion.
Mr. Chairman, this is out of
at the desk I'd like to
control.
get.
We should adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Motion at the desk.
Mr. Chairman,
I think my body's pretty good at, I'm going to be 50
Point of order.
this month. I am. I turned 50.
Fake eyelashes, porn stars, bleach blonde bodybuilder. Is this Congress, or is it a typical episode of some drama television show? Pure and utter insanity. These are your elected officials. Yep, that's what they do most of the time, making a mockery of your vote. The taxpayer, yes, you the citizen, contribute to their salaries. Members of Congress are among the highest paid 5% of American workers. Yet, they are not subject to the same expectation of standards and performance as the average American worker. If you were to behave the same way Marjorie Taylor Greene, AOC, Jasmine Crockett, Jamie Raskin, and others behaved in your workplace, you would be reprimanded. And in most cases, you would be terminated from that job. Yet, they are allowed to slander each other, behave like middle schoolers. In a nutshell, they are overpaid, steal the taxpayers' money, and do nothing for those taxpayers. What should be done about this problem, you ask? Simple. A pay cut. For example, the average salary for Congress members is about $175,000 annually. If you cut $75,000, which would bring their salary to approximately $100,000, it would save taxpayers approximately $40 million per year. And the biggest benefit, it would show the taxpayers that the economic crisis is shared by everyone, especially members of Congress. Essentially, this would be sharing in the good and the bad. Well, that's practically socialism, something the left is advocating for. But I guess they don't want to have their salaries cut to help the American citizens in the time of economic crisis. Oh, okay, I see how it works now. What's good for the goose is good for the goose. The gander is not involved.
It's the same problem with mayors and governors. There are decent to great mayors and governors out there, but obviously there are some that shouldn't even be in office, let alone making the money they make. Cities are flooded with crime, sex, and drug trafficking literally everywhere, while mayors and governors turn a blind eye. You know why? Because this generates revenue for those cities and states. Political corruption, yes. And sure enough, Congress members are one notch above them. Surely they have their dirty hands in there somewhere. Not all, of course, but the way members behave in Congress, it's safe to say there is criminal involvement with those operations. Mind you, a significant number of Congress members were originally mayors and governors. Then they decided to join Congress for the extra money and to run and hide from the more direct scrutiny that they would face from residents of the city and state they oversaw. In some cases, they were in fact involved in criminal activity, money laundering, bribes, extortion, pocketing campaign funds. And before it would be exposed, they sneak out the back door and run to Congress to avoid any criminal charges. Yes, it happens all the time, and in every state across the country. Hush money is dumped out there to those who know the truth, and it's never talked about ever again. And once they become Congress members, the citizens don't have the ability to request they be kicked out of office, such as a mayor or governor. You see the clever tactic used? They gain immunity from all crimes or criminal involvement they had prior. But there are those who couldn't sneak out the back door in time, and those are the scandals reported on. Mayors facing drug charges, money laundering charges, bribery charges, sex scandals, involved in drug and sex trafficking, you name it. It's evident with this excerpt from that verbal exchange that Congress has become a political arena of performance arts. Sure, there may be genuine members in Congress who are doing their jobs. You never hear from them because the mainstream media doesn't focus on those members. Why? Because they're not entertaining, they don't bring drama, they're not loud and obnoxious such as the individuals exposed in this episode. They don't provide the entertainment of mudslinging back and forth on both sides of the aisle. The loudest individuals are focused on, who ironically are the least effective members in Congress. Of course, they spend most of their time shouting and insulting each other. It's a power trip. The more nasty the Congress member is, the more popular they are, and the more power they gain, which translates to more influence. It's nothing but a building filled with spoiled, wealthy elitists who can't even relate to the common working class citizen. And it's not because they have become wealthy. It's because the wealth has corrupted many of those members. For some, they were already corrupt, so they fit right into the madhouse. Democrats and Republicans make up the majority of the House and Senate, with third-party representatives being overshadowed. Now, let's put something in perspective. There are approximately 535 Congress members, right? With an average salary of $175,000 annually, this comes to about $95 million spent on these people every year. And you contribute to those salaries. They don't deserve that money because that salary doesn't reflect what their actual job calls them to do. In the example prior, to maintain, quote, decorum in the committee hearing, it should have been canceled, microphones cut off, and they would resume the hearing after everyone had cooled down. But they let it go on because they're all full of you-know-what. This is like employees at the workplace clowning around while on the clock, and the supervisor is letting them do so. Meanwhile, customers, who would be citizens, are expecting those employees to provide service for them. You are the customer. Maybe you should give the business a bad review. Hey, perhaps you might decide to stop giving that business your hard-earned money. That would also be a good idea. If you're not following the analogy, unplug from the political matrix immediately. In conclusion here, the next time you view a so-called fierce debate between opposing parties, just know it's all an act. In the political matrix, this is the chaos sector,